Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Hey traders, John Howell here. Listen, I want to do today's video because I really see something really interesting happening. Obviously tomorrow is the Federal Reserve meeting. And as the title of this video says, something along the lines of, if the Fed doesn't change, everything will explode higher. Everything. And so let me explain what I mean here by what I mean by everything will will explode higher. And if you haven't done so yet, guys, today I'm running a flash sale, just $7 to my johnsflashsale.com, just $7 to this whole complete trading course. Go get it right now, johnsflashsale.com, or there should be a link in the description. Now, let's get on to this topic here. Now, the thing that I'm really focusing on myself as a trader, right? Because to me, I'm always looking for the edge. Now, I have my trading system. And again, in that flash sale, you'll be able to see my trading system and what I'm doing there. But the thing is that I'm looking for my trading system, but I also have these other positions on that I'm trading that I'm holding on to the end of the year. And I'm using that based on the charts and what I'm seeing in the charts. But I'm also using the fundamental of what I'm seeing on the underlying basis of these markets as a whole. Now, here's the thing. If obviously the Federal Reserve is going to come out and do the whole spiel, right? Now, we know they're not going to raise rates. That's pretty much baked in the cake. But it's what they say is going to determine what is going to happen, I believe, moving forward for the rest of this year. Now, the first scenario is they start to correct course. You know what? We're well ahead of schedule, and we're well ahead of schedule, and we're now going to be thinking about starting to taper, and AKA we may even start to raise interest rates much sooner than we expected because of the inflationary data, which is more than they expected. And if they say that, then you're probably going to start to get a bit of a shake and bake in the markets. The market's probably going to freak out because they think the market's probably thinking right now, okay, the way that things are normally going, as the Fed has predicted, is that everything is inflationary is going up, market's going up, the Fed is 0% interest rates, quantitative easing, and the purchases and all that sort of stuff that's happening throughout the rest of this year is very, very, very bullish for pretty much a lot of these markets. And so if the Fed starts to correct it, right? If the Fed starts to correct what they've been saying they're going to do this year, which is basically nothing, and continue to do quantitative easing to support these markets. If they don't say that, and they say they're going to start to correct the course much sooner than later, the market's probably going to freak out because, oh my goodness, right? And then you're probably going to see the stock market correct. You're probably going to see, especially the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones, you probably see a bit of a correction in these markets. Now, when I say correction, maybe 10%. So you might even see the Dow Jones head back down towards, maybe 30, maybe 31,000. The S&P 500, you may even see that correct as well. We may even get a drop down towards, 3,900 level. Maybe even a bit lower. We make, again, a correction of 7 to 12%, somewhere around about there. That's the average correction anyway. Now that's if they say they're probably going to start tapering back their purchases, or they're going to start tapering. They're going to start, AKA they're going to start to also raise interest rates much sooner and all that sort of stuff. If they start the correct course of what they've been saying they're going to be doing all this year, that's going to have a major impact on the market, and we're probably going to see a big pullback in a lot of these markets. Now, on the flip side, if the Fed comes out tomorrow and simply says we're on course, everything's good to go, and it's exactly what everything's in line with what we expected, and there's no need to change, we are good to go. If they say something like that, where there's no signs of correcting course at all, guess what? We are going to absolutely go balmy in inflationary markets, gold, mining stocks, commodities, and potentially even Bitcoin as well too. We're probably likely to see some really, really, really big moves when it comes out of potentially even Bitcoin. But even when it comes to the stock market, I see
Now, on a chart basis anyway, I have a target on the Nasdaq of 16,000. But the market's telling me we're about to see an explosion over this next 6 years. 6 years. By the end of this year, I see Nasdaq being at 16,000, possibly even a lot higher, maybe even 17,000. I do have a target of 16,000 when it comes to the Nasdaq. So again, if they don't change anything, then the Nasdaq's probably going to explode. We're about to see. I truly believe the market's telling me, the charts are telling me that we're about to see a pretty strong third and fourth quarter out of the tech sector, since they haven't really had a really big first and second quarter. As you can see on the Nasdaq chart, it's been pretty flat here. So I do see an explosion. That's what the market's telling me. But on the fundamental level, if the Fed just simply says, you know what, we're staying course, everything's good to go, we're probably likely to see a massive boom in Nasdaq. We're probably likely to see gold absolutely just go skyrocket because of the inflation there is probably going to continue. It's not going to be transitory. It's not going to be just here we go 1 minute, all right? Especially with the demand, right? The demand right there is huge, and then they're still doing zero interest rates, quantitative easing, purchases, and then suddenly all the money that's been saved starts to come back into the markets. It's going to be absolutely just balmy. And this has happened in the past as well too. If you look back in history, this is what happened in the 70s, and then after a while, the government let it go too much, where they actually started having, they had to start, I think it was Nixon, had to start come in and start to put price controls in to try to slow down the actual inflationary period. Now, I'm pretty sure that was in the 70s. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Leave a comment below. But that's where I believe we're headed on the overall picture, is that inflation is going to go nuts, which is going to be massive bullish for gold, massive bullish for commodity prices, and especially mining stocks, right? Gold, silver, mining stocks, commodity prices are probably going to go balmy if they continue to let inflation go, and then also even the stock market is probably going to go balmy again. Technically wise, I'm seeing a big move in the Nasdaq, but I'm also seeing on a fundamental level, we could be seeing an astronomical boom towards the third and fourth quarter of this year in a lot of these markets. Now, that also being said, guys, is that there is going to come a point in time where the whole music stops. This big massive bubble that we're seeing right now will stop, and the reverse and the correction that comes maybe next year, if it happens, is going to be deadly, and we're going to see just an incredible move down. I believe we have a lot longer way to go before we see that big correction first. I believe by looking at the markets and looking at especially what the Fed does tomorrow, you'll notice what the Fed does. Especially if the Fed says we're on track, no need to do anything. My goodness. It's going to be like a bonfire literally has just hit these markets, and these things are going to go crazy, and you're probably going to see tech sector go nuts this third and fourth quarter. You're probably going to see gold start to go through the roof because inflation is probably not going to just stop where they are. In mining stocks, commodities, these sort of sectors, guys, are probably going nuts. I'm not sure about the crypto market, but these inflationary hedges, metals minus commodities, are probably going to be major moves. Hence, for me personally, I'm in commodities. I'm in also mining and metals as well too. I'm already in there. I've been there for a while, but things are just picking up from now. So anyway, guys, this is what I'm seeing right now. If the Fed stays the course, we are going to see an astronomical, massive boom in a lot of these markets. Guys, make sure you head on down to johns.flashsale.com to grab the $7 training course. There should be a link in the description. Go to that right now, and I'll speak to you in the next video.